Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 4th grade concept of larger multiplication. That includes 2 by 2 and 4 by 1 multiplication, and this is standard 4.4D in the great state of Texas. We are using item number 23 off the 2021 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we have an orchestra that's got 8 performances, and there is an exact total of 2,464 tickets sold for each. Each lets us know most likely it's going to be multiplication. We need the total number of tickets for all 8 performances. So if we wanted to see like a strip diagram, let's see if that does kind of bear out. So we've got our total that we're looking for, total for all 8 performances. If we want to draw 8, then cut it in half. Got your halves and halves to make fourths, and then cut your fourths and halves, and you've got 8. So I've got eighths right there, and inside each one of these is going to be 2,464. So I can either skip count by 2,464 8 times, but I don't really know how to do that. You can also just multiply. So we're going to do that in just a moment. 2,464. When we multiply, let's not use a comma. Don't want it to look like a 1. But really, let's break this apart. We're going to use the distributive property to take a look at what we're doing here. So this 2,464 is really 2,000. If we're going to break it apart by expanded form, place value, plus 400 plus 60 plus 4. And so that's one way to look at it, because really when we multiply it, we're going to end up multiplying it like that. So we're going to multiply the 8. We're going to go by each place value. So I'll show you the partial products way first. Then I'll show you how to do it without the partial products, how to do it all in one big line. So first we start with our 8. And we're going to multiply it by the 4, and that 4 is simply a 4. So 8 times 4, we have to know our facts. Obviously, that's 32. Let's make sure we line everything up. Now, this 8 times 6, you see this 8 times this 6. But remember, this 6 right here is really a 60. So 8 times 6, we need to know 8 times 6, that's 48. So when we have an 8 times 60, then that's going to be a 48 with a 0, because when we multiply by multiples of 10, 100, 1,000, you just add those zeros. So that's going to be 480. Now we've got our 8 times this 4, because we go from right to left. So 8 times 4, that's pretty easy. That's 32. That's really not a 4, it's a 400. So then 8 times 400 is going to be 3,200. So 3,200 or 3,200, same thing. Then finally, this 8 times 2. 8 times 2 equals 16, but that 2 is really a 2,000. So 8 times 2,000 is going to be 16,000. And so we will put our 16,000 down here. And this is going to give us our product after all of these partial products are added up. So we've got 2, we've got 11, we've got 5, 7. 19,712. Now that is a really long way of doing it, but that's what multiplication looks like. How do we do it all together in what we call the standard algorithm? Well, it's going to take a little bit of regrouping, and we have to kind of keep our brains as to whether we're going to multiply or add, because we do both at once. But what we do is we put it all on one line, and we say 8 times 4, we start with that. And that's going to be 32. But we only do one spot at a time. Since we're multiplying the one spot, we put the 2 from the 32 in the one spot, and we carry that 3 up above to the tens spot. Now we multiply the tens. That 8 times 6 is 48. And it's okay if we put the 48 right here, because we're starting in the tens spot. But just like the one spot, we're only going to do one digit at a time, so that we're just going to put the 48, add that 3 back in, that's 51. We're just going to put the 1 right there. Carry that 5, so my 51 is right there from the top and the bottom. 8 times 4 is 32. Add that 5 back in is 37. 8 times 2 is 16. Add the 3 back in is 19. My answer is D.